everything.
How did you become Savitar?
Savitar is a version of Barry from the future. He remembers everything that Barry does.
What if Barry can't remember what we're doing now?
Do you want to mess with his brain?
Just a little bit. I want to stop you from making new memories.
Let's do it.
Who are all of you? Oh, my lord.
Slight miscalculation.
Where the hell am I? Is this a dentist office?
The Flash, all new this Tuesday at 8/7 Central on the CW.
Welcome to Nerdgasm, everyone. Today we're going to be talking about the Flash promo for episode 21, but the truth is there's not really a lot to talk about. So we're going to talk about exactly how Barry ended up turning into Savitar. Alright, so who didn't love the fact that they combined both the Savitar and the new 52 Future Flash storylines to create this new speedster villain? I love it, because technically Barry is now the fastest man alive, isn't he? It's not the Barry we know and try to support, but loopholes, Speed Force, multiverse, yada yada. Point is, he's now technically the fastest man alive. With this new episode, they're going to try and make the Future Flash lose his advantage over the team by wiping Barry's memories for a little while. But of course, something goes wrong and hilarious hijinks will occur. Oh my god, is this a dentist office? Oh, so crazy, I'm the Flash. Like, we get it. 3 episodes left and you're going to have 40 minutes of him trying to regain his memories. Just, please don't make it 40 minutes. Honestly, I don't think any of that's going to work anyway, because Savitar's going to be laughing his ass off the entire episode. The Philosopher's Stone seems like it's going to be the reason for a lot of ridiculousness when it comes to future Barry. The only other really good thing we get from this promo is Savitar matching Barry's lightning throw, which is going to be hilarious when I see it because I know it's going to knock the Flash down. And we clearly see that the suit runs on batteries at one point because there are no lights on this suit. Do you see this? Why the fuck are his lights off? Is he trying to trick the Flash and be like, nobody's home? Now we know that Savitar is future Barry, but we don't know from what point in time. From the look of him, he doesn't look like he's that much older than 2024 Barry. Possibly just a few years. I don't see it being that close to when present Barry left them in the last episode. I mean, come on, everyone was all happy and yay, Team Flash, we could do it. Emo Barry was gonna get his shit together and he was gonna put Team Flash back together and he was gonna make Central City safe again. So if this is that version of future Barry, then clearly some new villain showed up and pushed Barry, just like Savitar did. It's possible that someone might have killed Joe and the rest of Team Flash, so Barry just completely loses his shit and decides to become Savitar. We know that Barry has that slimy ass looking scar on his face. But it's not just fire that could have done that. Killer Frost could have actually done that as well. Seeing as how her ice can go below sub-zero, and she doesn't actually freeze things, she removes the heat from objects, causing them to freeze over. If you guys don't know, then it's possible to actually freeze things so bad that it actually burns you. So it's possible that Killer Frost is the one who scarred Barry and killed the team in the future. She had this whole work relationship with Savitar. So what if Savitar needed to make sure that she would do her part to make sure that he came into existence? At this point, we know the reason that Savitar is going through all of this is because he needs to make sure his own existence is safe. And you never know, maybe he had Killer Frost set his transformation in motion. The other thing is that he has the Philosopher's Stone, so he's clearly playing with a different set of rules than what we know. He's like on some next level shit. He can do things that even with the Speed Force, like, oh, okay, the Speed Force is the reason. The freaking Philosopher's Stone is like the next level bullshit. Savitar was supposed to be some speedster who traveled to different Earths and destroyed them, right? At least that's what Jay Garrick made it sound like. Now we clearly know that he didn't know shit, and he knew just as much as we did at that point in time. He even tells us that you had to grow strong enough just to have Savitar challenge you. And where did he hear this? Is he lying because he really knows what's going to happen and he doesn't want to ruin the timeline? The only thing that was true about what Jay said is that when Savitar shows up, he sends someone to prepare for his arrival. That would be Julian as Dr. Alchemy, and that person has the Philosopher's Stone. Like I said earlier, there are different reasons why future Barry could have gotten the scar. Something could have happened with his speed, and when he was running, it just started burning him. He may have lost his powers again. Maybe the Speed Force wasn't as generous as the first time, so they didn't have his back. Because we all know from that one episode, the Speed Force was like, listen, Barry, you need to stop being like this huge-ass fuckboy and just dicking with time, because it's getting annoying. It's getting annoying. So maybe they just didn't have his back again. They didn't give him his speed back. Or maybe they even took his speed. Whatever the reason, if he lost his speed, this could have been the reason that Team Flash got killed, so he ends up finding the Philosopher's Stone, and he uses it to get his speed back, becoming Savitar. I mean, if it's not Killer Frost setting things in motion, and if it's not some kind of super speed accident that gave him that Prince Zuko-looking ass scar, then I don't know what it was. But clearly, it was part of the incident that drove him to become Savitar. Now, on the off chance that this is not the future Barry Allen from the future that we saw last episode, and this is some kind of timeline that goes off on a tangent, then we have a whole new ballgame. It's possible that this future Barry is from a different timeline that experienced everything that this Barry is experiencing, and something was different, leading him to becoming Savitar and losing Iris and losing the team. He could be taking out his rage on countless different timelines just to have all the other berries end up becoming Savitar. He has the Philosopher's Stone, like I said, whole new level of bullshit. He could be traveling to different timelines instead of different Earths. And then we have this crazy loop that never ends of Savitars just being created. It's weird, it's crazy, but we've seen timelines changed, get erased, the whole shebang. I mean, the entire future we saw in episode 19 pretty much doesn't exist anymore because Barry figured out who Savitar is now, and Cisco still has his hands. Also, do you guys remember season 1 when we saw Future Flash for the first time and he was like, Barry, don't do it. Don't save your mom. Don't fuck with the time. Like, just stop, all right? It has to happen. Let it happen. Anyone ever wonder what the heck happened to that guy? Where that Future Flash went? The non-emo Future Flash? He's dead. His timeline was completely erased because of what happened at the end of season 2. Maybe he became Savitar. Maybe that version of Future Barry became Savitar and he was protected because he was in the Speed Force. Technically, it wouldn't be that far-fetched because he is a future version of Barry. He could still have the memories of the original past Barry. So now he's going around and he's killing because he's pissed off that he lost Iris because that Barry dicked with the timeline. But that's the problem with this thing, is that there's so many different timelines constantly being created. Things are always changing. I mean, it took them less than one episode to just completely change the timeline. Come on. And we've seen the Speed Force protect people from being erased from time already. So with the Philosopher's Stone, is it crazy to think that even if the Speed Force knew he was there and they sent Black Flash to get him, or Time Rates or whatever, that he couldn't be surviving with the Philosopher's Stone? All I'm saying is when you throw the Philosopher's Stone into the mix, it doesn't sound crazy that anything could happen. He could be from a different timeline. It could be the Barry that we saw from season 1 and just, he's pissed. It could be a Flashpoint Barry. Maybe Flashpoint finally got erased like it should have been. And that Barry's mad because he had a mom and a dad and all that stuff, and now they're gone. But that's just my theory on exactly who this future Barry is. Either a future version of the 2024 Barry that we saw, and more horrible things happen to him, so he becomes Savitar, or it's the future Flash from season 1 that got erased because Barry jacked up in season 2. Let me know in the comment section below what version of the future Barry you guys think this is, how he ended up becoming Savitar. Do you think he's going to have his memory gone the entire episode next episode? And do you think it's even going to work, seeing as how Savitar has the ridiculousness of the Philosopher's Stone to keep protecting him? If you're brand new, hit the subscribe button, stick around, hang out with these awesome people. Thank you guys for the support. I love you guys so much for everything you've done for this channel. I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye. Welcome to Nerdgasm. Today we're going to be going over episode 20 of The Flash, and it was amazing. Now remember guys, this is a Nerdgasm breakdown, which is different from the Nerdgasm recap, and there's a little bit more extra stuff going on.
I know who you are.
Bitch, so do we! And I called it from the very first Savitar video I ever posted. You called me crazy. You guys got me out here making Ronnie and Savitar videos and shit. And I was right from the beginning. But you know what? We'll come back to this later.
Barry and Wally searched the city half a dozen times. No one's doing a thing. Every chance I get, I try to vibe where she is. We're using facial recognition technology. We're using the MetaHuman app, the satellite. We're doing everything we can.
You know, Julian, I don't buy that you didn't know that Team Flash is doing everything in their power to find her. How do you, as a member of Team Flash, not know that they've been doing all this extra stuff to find the woman that you let loose?
Dr. Brand?
Oh, no, just Tracy. I failed my dissertation.
You know, she's supposed to be a super level genius here, but all I can see is her from the White Chicks movie.
Think we're gonna go to the Hamptons with my face looking like that?
Your work on relativistic quantum mechanics and its application to interspatial theory to manipulate matter on a subatomic level, it's groundbreaking.
Basically, she was trying to get a doctorate in Speed Force education. This is hilarious because in the comics, Eobard Thawne tried to get his doctorate in basically the exact same thing, and he was ridiculed for it. This is also how he got the name Professor Zoom while he was working at the Speed Force Museum. Yeah, I try to teach you guys stuff about the comic books too. Check out the other videos. Somebody check his hands. Where the fuck did the Flash learn to do that? This is the Flash we want to see next season. Do not ruin this. This better be the cool kind of Flash that we see in season 4.
So I'm gonna spread this around so everyone knows to look for her.
Remember when Barry Allen used to actually work here? Does anybody know what's going on with that? Does he still work here? Because I could have sworn Julian got his job back.
You call yourself Killer Frost, but you haven't actually killed anyone yet.
Okay, in her defense, it's only been like a week since she became Killer Frost, and honestly, she definitely was not hesitant to try and kill the new character on this show. She is not holding back. Savitar is just being a dick right here. Also, Savitar has been shrinking since he got out of the Speed Force. Has anybody noticed that? He looks a lot smaller.
I need to calm down. So, a Zoom.
A Zoom? Never heard of it.
Oh, it's on the secret menu.
Secret menu?
Triple espresso with a shot of cayenne.
Really? A Zoom? Jitters named a coffee after the crazy man who dragged the Flash around Central City with a broken back? The disrespect at Jitters. Also, they should probably rename it the Black Flash.
Maybe even turn it into a prison.
Maybe.
Yeah. Just a random thought. How do you think one would accomplish that?
See, I don't know, because the university wouldn't fund my research.
Great, so we have a 21st century Eobard Thawne, and people think she's crazy. That's the exact problem that Eobard Thawne went through in the future. His brother even tried to arrest him for accessing Speed Force data. Nobody wanted to believe that the Speed Force was real and the Flash was just a myth, so he was ridiculed as well. And it was really weird when Eobard's own brother had to try and stop him, you know, before a future version of Eobard erased his own brother from the timeline. Somebody check his hands.
Scar tissue is a lot more sensitive than regular tissue.
Damn, that was cold, Killer Frost. See, you can literally see right here that she's not holding back. She has no problem stabbing and shooting ice spears at people. She really is as far gone as everybody thinks she is, and Savitar questioning her just makes no sense. But then again, he also knows what's gonna happen. So maybe he's trying to change the future as well, just like they're trying to change the future. And he doesn't want Killer Frost going back to her team.
Well, to be fair, you're basically telling me I'm Sarah Connor in Terminator.
Well, it was more like
Miles Dyson.
Yeah.
You gotta love how they're giving this new person Team Flash cred with the Terminator references. And the power grab she goes for by trying to relate herself to Sarah Connor's. If you don't know, Miles Dyson was the scientist in Terminator 2 who reverse engineers the Terminator tech and ends up dying at the end of the movie like a champ.
I know that normally one of you fellas goes out for the chat, but I got this one.
Does anybody else love the fact that HR just pointed out that they always have to chase after someone when they leave the Cortex, and then they have to give that person a speech, and he volunteers to be the person to give the speech this episode?
I'm walking around with 2 loaded guns here, ready to go off. And what if she's hurting Barry or Joe or you? And I have to save you and I can't control my powers and I end up killing her?
This scene right here is important because Cisco tells Julian that he's walking around with 2 loaded guns and he's worried that he might kill Killer Frost if he fights her. This may actually be the reason why he lost his hands in the future that we saw. He was holding back because he was scared to hurt his friend, but now it looks like Cisco might be able to do what he has to do no matter what. Slowly you can see the stuff that's changing the future from the last episode that we saw. I mean, it started in the last episode with the whole future being changed, but now we can see more of it start to solidify.
I don't think your abilities have ever come from a place of negativity or hate. They come from somewhere good.
You gotta love the fact that Julian, a man who was mind controlled into giving people powers who use them for evil, is telling Cisco that he can use his powers to save the people he loves. And this moment right here really cements the resolve that Cisco needed to save his friends and keep his hands, hopefully.
You two are more alike than you realize. You see, that's how Savitar knows every move you're going to make.
How much alike? Same person alike, or OMG, we're twinsies alike?
Oh no.
Somebody check his hands!
It's over, Caitlin.
Alright, his hands are fine. Also, Cisco for the win again! How many times is he gonna save people with his vibe powers? Seriously, come on. Since episode 2, he's been saving people. And Cisco finally just became more awesome than his future counterpart. So if you guys were wondering, the future we saw last time is going to be changed now. He beat Killer Frost this time, so there might still be a fight later on in maybe one of the next episodes where he fights her in the woods again. But after what we saw here, he was able to overpower her. He's not going to let her get the drop on him or give up because she's his friend. He's going to be able to stop her. So his hands may not go anywhere, thank God.
Thanks to Cisco, we now have a sample of her blood when she was fully mutated as Killer Frost. It could be the key to reverse engineering a cure, so it's good work, mate.
We even get this right here with the start of Julian trying to cure Killer Frost. Let's hope that now that the future is clearly changing, he can find a cure this time and doesn't need to lock her up for the next 8 years.
Yeah. So if we could build a device capable of harnessing that power, theoretically, we could use his own velocity against him.
Yes, she is realizing how to build the speed prison and trap Savitar in the Speed Force. She even mentions that she can use his armor against Savitar because of its unique properties. What's weird is that his suit is protecting him in a different way than most of the speedsters that we have on the show right now, but I'll get to that.
Savitar knows every move you're going to make. He's always one step ahead of us. This is all history.
Oh, he's put it together. This is the part where people realize that they messed up and were hoping that it wasn't true.
You remember when you were me? Like I told you from the beginning, I am the future Flash.
I fucking called it. I called this in the very first Savitar video I made and got hella torn apart because people were saying there's no way it was going to be the future Flash. I'm dead serious. Look at this clip. When they ask who he is, he says, I'm the future Flash, right? And at first I wanted to be like, okay, I'm the future, comma, Flash. No, I think he's saying I'm the future Flash. Savitar is a future Flash where maybe some shit didn't go right. Now he's doing things that when a man snaps, who knows what he's capable of. Maybe he lost Iris and Joe and all that stuff. So he turned into Savitar. I knew it was him, but people were saying that there was a comma after he says, I'm the future Flash. Oh, I'm the future, comma, Flash. Oh, read the synopsis. You're an idiot. Like, so how does it feel to everyone who said, no, this version of Barry would never kill Iris. There'd never be a version of Barry anywhere in the multiverse of multiverses that would ever kill Iris. Well, guess what? Hashtag Stab Iris is alive and well. And if you don't like it, then blame the people who made the season. This is the weirdest twist they could have put on the Savitar and Future Flash arcs from the comic books. But oh my goodness, it was worth it. You combine two of the craziest speedsters to ever be made, Savitar, a man who made himself a speed god, created a speed cult, and had a crazy mastery on the Speed Force that even Wally West didn't have at the time when they fought. And a new 52 future Barry Allen, who was plagued by so much death and failure, he would travel back in time to kill himself, and you get one hell of a supervillain. I love it. I'm serious. This is great. I called it from the beginning and tons of other people still called it. But you gotta stay relevant, so you gotta make multiple theory videos. It was ridiculous, man. They said it in the beginning. So many people were like, I'm the future Flash. He's telling the Flash, I'm the future Flash. And we see that Barry Allen from the future has a scar on his face. So this isn't the Barry Allen that we saw in 2024. This may not even be the Barry Allen from this world. Because if you remember way earlier what Jay Garrick told Barry Allen was that Savitar would come to Worlds and then he would beat those speedsters. So this may be a Barry Allen from a different universe, and he's taking it out on tons of other Earths. Now, I know you may be thinking, that's ridiculous, Nerdgasm, that's stupid. He's from the future. Yeah, he could possibly be just a farther future version of Barry Allen. So we saw the 2024 Barry Allen, and he's like, oh no, Iris is gone. We have to stay a family. It sucks. Oh my goodness. And then maybe like 10 years down the road from that, or another 8 years, I don't know, like Barry Allen from 2032, he's like, you know what, screw this, I don't want to do this, and he tries to save Iris again. Something happens, his face gets jacked up. Clearly his armor has a lot more protection than the current Flash's suit does, and I have to say it might be something wrong with his powers that he needs all that extra protection. But it's also not crazy to think that this might be another Earth version of Barry, because when Barry traveled to Earth 2, he was hella determined to be like, they're still my family, even though they're doppelgangers. I still love them and I have to protect them like they were my own. We've seen that Barry Allen has a hard time distinguishing from stuff like that. So what do you think a completely mind-fucked Barry Allen is going to do? He's going to be more sane and he's going to be like, oh no, other Earths don't matter anymore. No, he'd be crazier. All we know is that this version of Barry Allen has traveled to other Earths because Jay Garrick said so. How Jay Garrick knew all this stuff, I don't know. Did Jay Garrick know that it was future Barry Allen? It's very possible. He has seen a lot. He is a very experienced Flash. He could know all of this and not have told Barry for very specific reasons. Also, there's a lot of reasons that his face could be jacked up like that. It might be some kind of Speed Force scar. It could be something about the suit didn't protect him anymore because he got too fast. And then he had to create the Savitar suit so it would protect him better. In the new 52 with the future Barry Allen, his face, obviously it's older because it's an older version of Barry, but it's also a little scarred up. It doesn't look anywhere near as bad as this one. It doesn't look like he's been melted on the side of the face with a big belly burger grill. You think that's what happened? No. Let me stop. But the new 52 future Barry Allen did have some facial features that were, distinguished from scars and battles and stuff like that. So it's very possible this is the same kind of thing. But this reveal was epic. And like I said, no matter what the reveal was, it was going to be great. But we're going to have to wait for the next episode to see if they can actually stop anything from happening. Let me know what you guys think about the reveal. Let me know what you guys think is going to happen next episode. What was your favorite part? Were you right? Were you wrong? I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching. If you're brand new, hit the subscribe button because if you lasted this long, why not? Seriously, why not? You guys are awesome. Goodbye.